Welcome to News 9 and you are watching On Point, and I have 9 on points and 9 big headlines. Let us take a look at the first on point. Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik buckles under pressure, says VK Pandian is not his successor. People and party will select the successor. It seems the Chief Minister of Odisha Naveen Patnaik has buckled under pressure. In an interview to a video wire agency, he said that VK Pandian is not his successor and people and his party would ultimately select a new leader. Naveen Patnaik's interview was followed by a press conference of VK Pandian in which he accused Bharatiya Janata Party of spreading malicious lies. VK Pandian is a retired IS officer. He is from Tamil Nadu but belongs to Odisha cadre. He is married to an Udia and has worked closely with Naveen Babu. Now let me take you through some important points from the interview. The first thing, VK Pandian is not my successor. People in the party will decide my successor. We will get a majority in the election. I am fit and fine. And now, let me play out his bites, sum and total of what he said.
He is not my successor, and I see all of this usually as exaggerations and falsehoods. The successor will be decided by the people of the state. That is the natural result of these things.
You are not grooming Mr. Pandian to take over from you?
I can't understand these exaggerations. You may have noticed that he's not even standing for elections. The Prime Minister was so concerned about my health. Even recently he said that I'm a good friend of his. All he needed was to pick up a telephone and inquire about my health. Instead of stating it loudly at a public meeting 3 times yesterday. My health is perfectly all right. As you can see, I've been campaigning for the last month all over the state. And instead of the Prime Minister just picking up a telephone and asking me about my health, he has stated it loudly at a public meeting. This means that all he's trying to do is garner votes during election time. This rumor has been spread by BJP persons in Delhi for the last 10 years. Without much effect, I add. And that's more or less what I have to say about that. Let me clarify that I have never shown acrimony to anyone in public life. And when support is required, we will judge our appropriate position. Let us see what the position will be in the future. That will be the judge of future events. I see a very handsome results in the state elections. We will form a solid government again in the state, and in Parliament we will have a very good majority.
His interview was succeeded by his protege, VK Pandian, who accused Bharatiya Janata Party of spreading lies. But before I play out his interview, let me introduce my guest, Brijesh Pandey, my input editor. He joins me in the studio. And Rennie Abraham, senior journalist, he joins me. I'll take a quick comment from Rennie. Rennie, do you think, before I play out the Pandian's bite, because it was like a duet, his interview ended and Pandian's interview, the press conference started. Do you think that Naveen Babu buckled under pressure?
Well, pressure maybe not the appropriate word to use, because he's too much of a veteran and a seasoned politician to be doing that. However, it is also true that just before the Lok Sabha elections commenced, Naveen Babu had made a trip to Delhi to meet the BJP senior leadership at a last ditch effort, if you will, to still continue and go in for an alliance, which obviously, as we all know, broke down over the reversal of ratios that was proposed by BJP of, which was the seats of 60-40 in favor of BJP versus BJP in the last Lok Sabha. And the BJP had proposed to change it to 12 seats for them and 8 seats for BJD in a reversal of that 60-40 ratio. Having said that, they decided to go it alone, and it's not so much buckling under pressure. The fact is that the BJP enjoyed brilliant relationship with the...
No, if it is not buckling under pressure, then why did Mr. Patnaik had to go for an interview and state that he is not my successor? I'll come to you. Let me play out the bite of VK Pandian.
এইটা কে যদি প্রশ্ন পচারিবে তাহলে রত্নভଣ୍ଡার কথা কইবে কি আর কিছু কথা কইকি ডাইভার্ট করিবা ପାଇଁ চেষ্টা କରୁଛନ୍ତି কিংবা আসালীন ভাষাରେ ଆମ ପ୍ରିୟ ମୁଖ୍ୟମନ୍ତ୍ରୀଙ୍କୁ ଅସମ୍ମାନ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଏଟାକୁ ଓଡ଼ିଶାବାସୀ ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ଆଉ ଓଡ଼ିଶାବାସୀ 1 ତାରିଖରେ ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଉତ୍ତର ଦେବେ, ଜବାବ ଦେବେ, ମୋର ଦୃଢ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ଅଛି। ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ देयर कमिटमेंट टुवर्ड्स ଓଡ଼ିଶା। ଯଦି ଏ ଉପରେ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରିଲେ ସେମାନେ ରାଗୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆଶାଳୀନ ଭାଷାରେ ଆମ ପ୍ରିୟ ମୁଖ୍ୟମନ୍ତ୍ରୀଙ୍କୁ ଗାଳି ଦଉଛନ୍ତି, ଟପିକ ତାକୁ ଡାଇଭର୍ଟ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ମୁଦ୍ଦା ଉପରେ ଉତ୍ତର ଦେବାକୁ ତାଙ୍କର ସାହସ ବି ନାହିଁ, ତାଙ୍କର ଦକ୍ଷତା ବି ନାହିଁ।
Fact of the matter is that VK Pandian is the most important person after Naveen Patnaik. He is the only person who has been campaigning across Odisha like a number 2. Pandian also has unlimited access to Naveen Babu. Naveen Patnaik has also purged other power factions within BJD, making him the sole leader of BJD today. BJD was full of leaders who had legacy. For example, when Biju Babu was alive, Naveen Patnaik's father, Nandani Satpathy, became the chief minister of Odisha. Indira Gandhi appointed her. Nandani Satpathy's son, Tathagat Satpathy, 4-time MP of BJP, has retired. The Deos from other side of Odisha are out. So multiple power centers are absent. Naveen Patnaik had to clarify, I feel, because of BJP's relentless campaign on who is running Odisha government and why an outsider has so much power and authority in the state. Obviously, the target was VK Pandian. Bijesh.
Well, absolutely buckled under pressure because, when Reni said that, he's too veteran a politician, he is almost as was Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Because when you rule with absolute control, you don't answer or retort in a situation when the timing suits the opposition. The reason he chose to clarify that, his health and the successor is because he realized that, in the last 2-3 days, this situation had a potential of spiraling out of control. The footage of shaking hand of Naveen Patnaik and, Pandian promptly putting it behind the dais was a clear indicator that, that nobody would want people of Odisha to see that. He also doesn't want the simmerings in his party to reach to a level where we might see potential breakups. And that is the reason why two most important clarifications. The first, VK Pandian is not his successor, and the second was about his health.
And was it because of the fact that this picture that we are playing out actually led to a lot of speculation? This is an important turning point in the elections. When this happened, Naveen Patnaik had to issue a clarification. And let me play out the bite of the Prime Minister Modi, which led to the entire chain of events today.
आजकल नवीन बाबू के सभी शुभचिंतक बहुत चिंता में है। वो ये देखकर बहुत परेशान है कि पिछले 1 साल में अचानक नवीन बाबू की तबीयत इतनी कैसे बिगड़ गई। बरसों से नवीन बाबू के करीबी रहे लोग अब जब मुझसे मिलते हैं तो जरूर नवीन बाबू की तबीयत की चर्चा करते हैं। वो बताते हैं कि नवीन बाबू अब खुद से कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे हैं। अरसे तक नवीन बाबू के करीबी रहे लोगों का मानना है कि उनकी तबीयत बिगड़ने के पीछे कोई साजिश भी हो सकती है। सवाल ये कि नवीन बाबू की तबीयत खराब होने के पीछे क्या कोई षड्यंत्र है क्या? ये उड़ीसा के लोगों को जानने का अधिकार है। कहीं इसमें उस लॉबी का तो हाथ नहीं है ना, जो नवीन बाबू के नाम पर पर्दे के पीछे उड़ीसा में सत्ता भोग रहे हैं।
Odisha is the only state after Andhra Pradesh where Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha elections happen simultaneously. So the big question is, did the outsider jibe on VK Pandian did the trick for the BJP? Did ill health rumor force Naveen Patnaik to clarify? The rumor gained traction after the video of his hand shaking went viral. And let me say, what was the turnaround point? I would say the handshaking, the dais. Rene, your comments.
Sir, I would feel very strongly, as I just learned, in a manner of a small news flash, if I may, checking with senior BJP leaders, the BJP leadership is set. Were Modi 3.0 to be a reality come June 4th, one of the first things that the new dispensation under Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to do, not likely, I'm told they will do, is set up a kind of a probe panel to exactly try and verify the health status of Naveen Babu. And in the wake of, we just heard the Prime Minister himself having alluded to some kind of, threat to the medical situation for the Odisha Chief Minister. So that's the one thing I hear here. And secondly, please understand this. When I said Naveen Babu enjoys very good relations with BJP, we must also cite the instance of Ashwini Vaishnav, the union minister, who was a senior bureaucrat in Odisha, and at the request of the BJP, Naveen Babu had cleared him so that he was able to move on to his next phase of life as a politician. So, that kind of tells you the really strong relationship that has been there on all legislative bills in Parliament for the last 5 years. You would be very consciously aware that the BJD has supported all those bills that were placed by the BJP. So in that light, and in the light of the fact that the BJP is intending to go ahead with a probe to verify the exact...
I know this is what Prime Minister said yesterday. I mean to say, what difference does it make?
No. But Prime Minister can say anything to gain traction. But the point is that can the centre constitute a probe committee to probe into the health of
absolutely not. I completely disagree with Rene.
It's laughable. I mean,
I completely disagree. My understanding is, Brajesh, that Prime Minister made an issue out of VK Pandian because that was the chink in the armour. Absolutely. My understanding is this.
He is the chink in the armour. See, the point is, you cannot pin down Naveen Patnaik on anything. The legacy issue, people said that, oh my God, he speaks, English he speaks accented English, and there's no way, he speaks Odia and all. But, 4 terms and they have not been able to do anything about it. His popularity actually keeps on growing, and he's able to form government after government after government with absolute impunity. See, the thing is that Pandian is the only person who is the chink in the armour, and that is the reason why the Prime Minister even did not take the name of Pandian, but hinted at him as people who are enjoying the spoils of the power. The fact is that, if you ask me an honest question, what Pandian did is something which any well-wisher would do, because in politics, especially Indian politics...
Pandian sacrificed himself today.
And I would say that we are discussing this thing. In Indian politics, we treat politicians like demigod. You are 85 and yet you are, here you are in the middle of, the hello of Indian politics.
Naveen Babu had to say that the Pandian is not my successor, and let me tell you one thing very clearly, he has unlimited access to Naveen Babu. And when I said the purging has taken place, I mean that all other centers of powers have been put to rest. It is almost akin, but this is an analogy. It's like Samajwadi Party. The only power of centre is Akhilesh Yadav. Absolutely. The only power of centre is Naveen Babu and VK Pandian. I was there in Odisha.
One more thing I would like to add, Karthike, that if you are a regional satrap or if you are enjoying unhinged power at the center, there is one quality without which you cannot survive there and not survive for 24 hours, which is absolute ruthlessness. Nobody gives power away till he's literally on the deathbed.
Brijesh, this is the I would say this is the first time Naveen Babu has lost out a battle with center after 1997. After 1997, Naveen Patnaik never lost any political battle with any politician, from Pyarelal Mahapal to anyone. They were put down coldly. But this is for the first time Narendra Modi had to force him to say that Pandian is not the successor. This means that the feedback had gone. Pandian is an officer from Tamil Nadu of Odia cadre, married to an Odia, working in Odisha for 20 years, implementing the projects of Mr. Naveen Babu, but he himself is not Odia. There have been chief ministers who do not belong to the state but went on to become big people. Jayalalitha was from Karnataka, MGR was a Malayali, but then those were different days. People from different parts of the country, for example, politicians from Uttarakhand went on to become the chief minister. Then, which we
Prime Minister fights election from
Uttar Pradesh. But then what is happening is, this is the first time, Brijesh, that Naveen Babu had to cede ground to Narendra Modi. He has actually buckled under pressure of Prime Minister Modi. There is no doubt about it.
Well, absolutely. This is the reason why I said that, that he has buckled under the pressure, because politicians of Naveen Patnaik's vintage and given his background, he's come from very illustrious background. Look at the careers of his sisters, sister-in-law, and so on and so forth. He comes from a very pedigreed family, So they don't respond to these kind of accusations. Similarly, like in the last 10 years, have you seen Prime Minister responding to an accusation or criticism? No. He will not remove the person also. He will do it at his time of his own choosing, which shows that you are the boss. This is exactly what Naveen Patnaik has done till now. Right now, when it was started by Himanta Biswa Sarma, the BJD camp realized that this has a potential of spiraling out and a rumor can be spread. More than Pandian, I think they were concerned about his health. That is the reason yesterday Naveen Patnaik spoke about his health, and today he gave an interview to news agency sorting out.
The only time this has happened is when Jayalalitha was in power, and I think Modi as a chief minister wrote a letter to Jayalalitha, which came out. And Sasikala had to leave the house.
Yeah.
Those were different issues, but the point is, Prime Minister for the first time has raised an issue which has come home for Naveen Patnaik. You can't find one report in which Naveen Patnaik has given in anything to Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Dr. Manmohan Singh, or even Prime Minister Narendra Modi for 9 years. I think in election time, Modi is the only politician who has been able to pressurize him. Even before, when Dharmendra Pradhan, when I was in Odisha covering the election, when he said that he's an outsider, VK Pandian very cockily said, I will leave the state if we don't get this much of numbers. But when Prime Minister said that this is a health issue and this is a conspiracy, was Naveen Patnaik had to say he's not my successor.
Absolutely, and I think that is the reason I said he has buckled under the pressure.
There is also a problem in BJD inside.
No, there will be. See, the point is you have to understand. See, till you are the boss, till you have a complete run of the party, of the family, there is nobody questioning you. You can appoint as many successors as you want. It's your prerogative. The second you are out of the equation, the second you are out of the scene, then the real player comes in. Your successor gets to become the successor, but does he get to rule the party the way you do? No, you don't. It is a very, very ruthless realm which you are talking about. We saw that in the Akhilesh Yadav family, everybody thought that, Shivpal Singh Yadav will move away. He's the nuts and bolts of the party, the organizational man, the entire organization, revolves around him. What happened? One fine morning, he was out of the party and was literally on the road. There was nobody supporting him. That is how power works. Just because you think you are, doesn't mean that you actually are. And that is the reason why, there were many who also thought that if Naveen Patnaik takes a sabbatical due to ill health or is not functioning properly, then the real BJD will come out. There are many claimants to the BJD. You may be out of action right now because, there's one colossus who is ruling for the last 20 years and you know that you cannot outshine him. But if he is not part of the galaxy, then, it's all out open for everybody. Then I think VK Pandian will find his biggest challenge.
Reni, do you think that Pandian can be a successor to Naveen Patnaik without inviting any backlash from BJD?
Well, it is not for him to choose to be the successor, if I may put it that way. And it is not just Pandian. Please understand that there is not just Pandian, but there has been a second layer of a motley crew, perhaps, of leaders in BJD who prevailed upon Naveen Babu against an alliance with the BJP. It is in this wake that I say that Naveen Babu having coming and specifying on live television that Pandian is not his successor is also indicative that he has other options available. And like Brijesh said, politics is a very ruthless game. And it is so, and it is all about perception battles that political parties have to project. Having said that, it is apparent to one and all, and this is not the first video. There was one earlier video preceding this where Naveen Babu was apparently slightly incoherent in his speech when he was addressing. So these are clear indications that obviously his party and he himself are considering that post Lok Sabha elections, assemblies in Odisha, which are simultaneously being held, he has to consider a transition of power in the BJD, particularly now since he has taken on the BJP and fought against them. And as ruthlessness goes, the BJP has targeted the BJD after their alliance talks broke down in the pace of the electoral fray. So this is why I say it's not that he's pressured. Why has he clarified? He has clarified that Pandian is not his successor. So who are we to change his mind on that? But he wouldn't have made that statement unless he was clear on a transitional, path.
I think you're giving too much of brownie points to Naveen Babu. Rene, people have their opinions. That's fair enough. I have my opinion, you have your opinion, Brijesh has his opinion. But my opinion in this show is that Naveen Patnaik has buckled under pressure for the first time in his tenure as the Chief Minister for one simple reason. It was Prime Minister's jibe. It was Prime Minister's jibe on Wednesday when he spoke about this issue.
I'll take 10 seconds, Karthik. It's like, when you've seen, top editors and all in last election, I still distinctly remember, trying to interview Naveen Patnaik, and it was like, they went mad. You ask 5-line question, he reply with 2-word answer or 3-word answer. Let's see how it happens. I don't know. You are saying this. So for a guy who has been very reticent and, has successfully created an aura of, slight degree of aloofness, somebody who's not part and parcel of the gig which is going on or the way politics is played out, for him to come out and give this kind of lengthy answers to every contentious question was a clear indicator that he was rattled. More than rattled, I think he realized that if it isn't clarified right now, the next 2 days are going to be very, very tricky for him.
Not only next 2 days, it also tells you that he was on a sticky wicket. You see, Naveen Patnaik, to say that Pandian is not my successor, that party will choose my successor, people will choose my successor, and he said that, Modi could have called me, tells you that Odisha, if not today, but tomorrow is for taking by any party which has got credible strength. And it's a warning, it's just like a chink in the armor. The political analyst and the strategist must have seen through it. So this was on point number 1. Thank you, Rene. The on point number 2 is about Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Kanyakumari and will meditate at the Vivekanand Rock Memorial. But after a short break.